This is Cutting Down the Nets. We are 1 week away from opening our presents on Christmas Day. The Selection Sunday. The matchups will be revealed, and I can't wait. It's my favorite day of the year. I think it's better than Thursday of the tournament, just seeing who's going to play and then getting to work. So, fun times around the corner. I'm back. I think I've slept in my own bed like 3 times since February 18th or something. So sorry I have not been as regular with video content as I want it to be, but times are tough right now. I'm on the road a lot for work. My wife's on the road a lot for work. Going through a home remodel. Man, it's one of the toughest seasons I've had just from a routine standpoint. It's just it's difficult. Sometimes I'm working off 3 monitors, sometimes 2 because I traveled with it, and then sometimes 1, which makes like stuff like this really, really tough. So yeah, let's fight on. Not doing as good this year as I was last year, but my promise has always been transparency. And in transparency, I have not updated that record in the last 3 days. So I need to update that. We're in the high 51s right now. Not happy about it, but I'm not scared of March. I think there's been a lot of home court stuff going on, and I'll touch on that today a little bit, but I can't wait for just neutral court situations. All right, let's rock and roll. I'll do the best I can to work off like one monitor. I got some streaming issues with my software today. All right. At the top, South Alabama, James Madison, all the marbles. So Paddy has this 8-9. Shot quality like 2-4, but all Torvik, KenPom, shot quality, Paddy. We all like South Alabama here. The line is James Madison -1, -1.5, depending on what you have access to. South Alabama's going to have to protect the ball. They can defend without forcing turnovers. I think they force like 16% turnover rate or something like that. And they're a fair defense, top third. JMU, also a top third defense, but kind of thrives off forcing turnovers. So James Madison 28th in turnovers forced. South Alabama 12th in ball protection. So that should be the story of the game. If South Alabama can protect the ball, should mitigate James Madison's pressure, then should get the outputs that you want. So that's where I'm at on that game. A lot of times this comes down to shooting. Pretty much my process is lock a bet, get closing line value, and then lose a close one. That's pretty much what I've done 350 times this year. But in seriousness, like I don't know, like these games close to a pick 'em, feel like I always lose them. I don't know why. All right, I'm gonna skip over these yellow for a moment. I'm gonna slide down Northern Arizona, Eastern Washington. So Paddy has this like 3-4, which isn't a whole lot of value, but look at those shot quality numbers. So shot quality does not value Eastern Washington, or does not validate Eastern Washington's record. I think would be a better way of saying that. Like they still think they're a decent team, but this is a team running like the sun. And look, I just think that I'm going to be fading Eastern. Like I kind of hope they win this game, and but don't cover obviously, and then we get another shot at it. But shot quality has their should be record at 12-18. Eastern Washington is 21-9. Their adjusted shot quality defense is 317th. Their adjusted shot quality offense is 179th. I mean, so if this was a 12-18 facing 12-18 team facing Northern Arizona, I wouldn't bat an eye at getting 6.5. But sometimes these records just kind of, I don't know, throw you off. So dream scenario for me: Eastern Washington wins by 1, and they move on to the next game, and we just keep doing this all the way through the tournament. Because I've never seen it this bad on shot quality. So the record luck is at, let me see if it's number 1. I'm looking on another monitor right now. Yeah, UNC Asheville's pretty close. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. They're number 2. So kind of interesting. All right, next game, Chattanooga Wofford. So this is not a true Paddy number. It is a true shot quality and shot quality recent efficiency number. So the issue for me is that Chattanooga played without their best player for most of the Paddy data set. So what I did was I just scrubbed it, took it away, and yeah, I'm not looking at that data. So Jake Stevens is their best player, one of the best players in the country. He is a 30% usage player. I mean, he's again, he's the best player. So he went out when they were, I want to say 11-7, something like that. So they treaded water without him, but their performance, especially on the offensive side, really, really suffered. So he's back now. They've performed as expected. I think yesterday I said, yeah, that using just Jake Stevens data, I make that Chattanooga -4-ish. They won by 3. So I wish it was that easy, but here I make them around 5-point favorites. I grabbed a 2. Shot quality recent efficiency shows as a 4, but again, a lot of that data is without Jake Stevens. So those are the 3 I've played thus far. Now let's get to the yellows, because they're all the same story. All the yellows that I'm displaying here are road teams, where all data points say that's too many points. So road dogs, getting points, getting more than a possession, and they're all the same story. Most of them have stuff to play for. Maryland could still get a 2 seed, but they're certainly playing for something. Northwestern's playing for something. Michigan's playing for there's at least seeding. So I don't know if this is a senior day, premium that we're paying. I don't know if this is me being scared of all these freaking home teams just winning games by 8 to 12 points when the line was 3-5 in a game that probably they're a toss-up or dogs on neutral, but apparently home court's worth 9 freaking points this year. It's asinine, and I'm really excited for neutral court spots. So I don't know what to do with that stuff. I truly don't. In the past, I just would auto bet it and be like, okay, +5.5 Northwestern looks good to me. +3.5 Maryland looks good to me. But yeah, I'm a little cautious these days. So yeah, if I was having a better year, those are probably auto bets, and then they probably win, maybe even close ones. But yeah, not this year. Another one on the radar, American Lafayette. Lafayette's at home here. Americans coming in playing their absolute worst ball of the year, but Lafayette's not very good, so that's kind of a tricky one too. You can look at that matchup on Torvik, and then some orange ones here. They're just kind of iffy. So I'm for sure on those first 3. Although there's better numbers available at Northern Arizona. Why? I don't know, but doesn't mean I'm going to win the bet and everyone else is going to lose. But yeah, there's now some 7s out there. So yeah, what that leads me to believe is this is where I'm at. I've bet South Alabama, bet Chattanooga, bet Northern Arizona, and then I'm on the fence on all these road dogs, all of them. So what this looks like for the next week should be back to regular content. I don't know why. And then once the tournament starts, well, before the tournament starts, so Sunday night, Monday, I'll start to mash stuff up. But as you've seen in the past, much more in-depth coverage of each game, much more in-depth kind of behind the curtain of Paddy. And we'll look at, okay, over the last 6 games, this is what the point spread would be over the last 8. So kind of doing what I do just on a little bit of steroids for March Madness. Hope to have a good March. I'll be out in Las Vegas again. I think it's the 19th year for me in a row. Sans COVID year that crushed my soul. So I am looking forward to it. Hope to have a good March. Let's get back on track. This is Cutting Down the Nets.